Hello and welcome to Off Chain. My name is Jimmy Song. Today is December 7th, 2017. I want to welcome Tone Vase. Tone, welcome to the
Hey
show.
everyone, I got my computer back up and running. Wow, after a very panicky 24 hours, we are back online. I have like infinite number of messages to go through now.
Infinite, huh? All right.
Feels
So,
like it.
so let's take a look at some stuff. We obviously have a ton to talk about. This is Senate Bill 1241. This would criminalize like not revealing that you have bitcoins or something like that. It's a pretty comprehensive article by Pirate Beach Bum. Really comprehensive. Goes through a lot of stuff and exactly how it affects you. Thankfully, it hasn't passed yet, but it's something definitely to watch out for from like tax perspective and reporting perspective. Your thoughts on this, Tone?
It's bad. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think you're quoted in that article, and so
Mhm.
many other people are in their Twitter. But um, my Twitter is mostly "I told you so" when it comes to the
Uh-huh.
story. So, like, I really don't have any highlights because I'm like, yeah, I wrote about this for Cointelegraph, 3 years ago in an article called "When Banks Become Law Enforcers," and it was all about the money laundering angle of it, which is why I've advised people never to buy from Coinbase since the day Coinbase opened, and probably why Coinbase has me blocked on Twitter. Uh, it's for these reasons specifically.
Mm.
So it's bad. I'm a I don't want to say I'm a pessimistic person, but when it comes to governments, like I never underestimate how ruthless governments are, especially when it comes to money. So, do I expect this bill to pass? And the answer is yes. Would I be surprised if it doesn't? A little. Would I be happy if it doesn't? Absolutely, right?
Mm.
But those are my only thoughts. It looks like a very detailed article. I really want to read it, and I think I'll make some time and like read this today because it's yeah, it's really important. If anyone wants to Google, I should probably put it under in my description of this video. When banks become law enforcers, I mean that article is 3 years old. Wrote it for Cointelegraph. Talks about these kinds of things.
All right, good to know, Tone. Yeah, that this is kind of concerning, but thankfully laws take a long time. Anyway, second story of the day: Lightning Protocol 1.0 compatibility achieved. So they finally got a specification for the Lightning Network. There were multiple implementations, but now they've agreed on a protocol. So all of them are now compatible, as opposed to before when they were all sort of working on their own thing. AsyncQ, Blockstream, and Lightning Labs are the main people that contributed to the Lightning specification. We can actually take a look at the actual specification here, and you can go to the table of contents, and it gives you sort of like, you know, pretty much everything, right? Like it starts with definitions. That's how you know it's like a pretty thorough specification because they give you definitions on everything. A lot of papers just sort of like I'll read these white papers and they don't even define the terms and they expect you to know all of them. It's like, what are you talking about? This is great. They have all of the terms defined. They go through a whole host of different things about like how to P2P node and channel discovery and all this other stuff. It's very, very detailed. If you're interested in Lightning development, definitely something to look at. Tone, your thoughts on the development of Lightning protocol specification?
It looks great.
Mm.
I mean, this is what happens once, all of the crazy big blockers, have their own chain to screw up and they're no longer really in the way of bothering core developers, shit actually starts to get done. What I'm now curious at is will we have Lightning transactions before, the former leaders of our Bitcoin community get their shit together and put SegWit in? I mean, very frustrating. Like Mycelium, no SegWit. Airbits, no SegWit. Coinbase, no SegWit. I mean, the mempool could be much smaller. I mean, now I'm getting frustrated with my transactions
Mm.
not getting confirmations because I look, guys, I know I was late to the SegWit party, but as of like 2 weeks ago, every transaction I do is SegWit.
Mm.
That's what's going to clear up the mempool.
Yeah, yeah. The interesting thing is, their second test was going from Eclair to Yalls. If you guys remember, Yalls is the competitor to yours.org. And they utilize Lightning to pay people for their articles, and you can see that a lot of them earn money or whatever. But that was sort of the use case that they wanted to make sure that they did, and that was the second actual mainnet Lightning network transaction. So it's all there. I can't wait. I am very excited, and once all of this stuff is ready, I will maybe publish something to y'all's and see. I'm probably not going to charge very much. It'll be like fractions of a penny or something. But I just want to see how it works.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
play with
I might do the same. Just charge just to see how it works, just for that purpose. Oh yeah, do you know if blockchain.info has SegWit yet compatibility?
I doubt it. I don't think so, but I don't know. I know they're quote unquote working on it, but we'll see.
Yeah, but blockchain.info, they don't want SegWit, right? Like they're big blockers, right? Like they're not interested in this. So.
I mean, I don't know what their team is up to, but certainly it's I don't know. We'll see. Let's just say that. All right, let's take a look at our next story. This is let me move our windows over real quick because otherwise you're not going to be able to.
You know what?
See
I spent I spent so much time. Like it says, Andreas posted this. Where was the original? Where did he post this? I was looking for it.
Yeah. So he posted it on Patreon, and you can't see this message unless you're actually donating to him. But
that's kind of weird.
Well, that's the way Patreon works. This was actually kind of a private message that Andreas sent to his supporters on Patreon, and this was somebody copied it over and put it on our Bitcoin. That's why it's there now. But basically, he goes on to say, he made some bad choices, especially with respect to like the job that he was doing at the time he discovered Bitcoin. I think if you read between the lines, it's he was so into Bitcoin and educating Bitcoiners that he kind of neglected his day job a little bit, and then he had some things that he went through, and it's a pretty moving article or message that he gave to his supporters. And at the very end, he said, "Yesterday you fed my soul. You reminded me why it is so important to remain optimistic, focused, and determined to overcome the cynicism." And obviously, the cynicism he's referring to is the Roger Ver tweet that said, if you just put in $300 into Bitcoin in 2013, you'd be a millionaire. Which is kind of a, I don't know what he was trying to achieve with that, because, I mean, it's not like Andreas is going around criticizing Roger Ver for anything. So I'm not sure what the point of that tweet was, but that brought a lot of people to Andreas's defense. Your thoughts on this, Tone, on this this very heartfelt message by Andreas Antonopoulos?
Yeah, no, it was great. I read this over last night. I tried looking for the original, but now I know where it was, because I donate in Bitcoin. I don't really sign up with Patreon, but it's great. And look, we've all made terrible choices. I know I've made some horrible choices in the last 4 years, but I always tell people, look, I don't regret not getting into Bitcoin earlier, right? Because those, there's nothing I can do about that, right? But some of the choices I've made after I've been in Bitcoin, some of those are definitely regrettable. Like I've made some horrible mistakes, okay? Where I could have so much more Bitcoin today. And what Andreas says is, because he's so busy, promoting Bitcoin and doing content that you kind of neglect some things. Like I guess the same thing with you and I pretty much. Man, I don't know if you sold all of your Bcash. I did mine. But if you had more free time, you probably would have definitely tried to sell more at the top. Same thing with B Gold. Like there were chances to sell B Gold, Bitcoin Gold at a reasonable price, and they're just too busy. And people are like, "Hey, Tom, how come you don't trade?" I'm like, "Because I'm too busy. I like doing this stuff for you guys." So it really neglects my own finances, but I'm happy about it. I'm doing okay, just like I'm sure Andreas is happy about it. And Roger is wrong if he says $300 in Bitcoin in 2013, 2012 maybe, not 2013.
Maybe early 2013.
Yeah, it has to be like the first week. Come on, you guys got to stop cherry picking dates, okay? Because if it's the last day of 2013, then you're buying it at $1,000 and not $10.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, so the community has obviously responded. There's a lot of donations that have been coming into Andreas's.
Oh yeah.
Bitcoin address.
Good.
Yeah. Where'd your video go?
Oh, good, man. I dropped it for a second.
Yeah. All right. So let's make sure your video is there, but we'll get toned back. But look at this insane number of donations. They're coming in from all over, including a 37 Bitcoin donation from somebody called I forget, Tether something on Twitter. Donated 37 Bitcoins, which is about $500,000 to Andreas. Andreas has taken out a lot of these. You can look up some of the transactions. This is part of blockchain forensics a little bit, but yeah, you can see this transaction, for example, where 25 Bitcoins are sent to this multi-sig address. I'm guessing that's like a SegWit address or something like that. There's a bunch of other transactions. This another one from Andreas that's spending like 10 to another address, etc. But yeah, I mean, Andreas has taken out something like 43 Bitcoins. So in the past, like 48 hours or so since the Roger Ver tweet.
He has 12 remaining, so...
Yeah, so I mean, it's something like 55 Bitcoins, at least from a rough calculation. I would love to see sort of like somebody figure out how much in donations he's gotten since the Roger Ver tweet.
And how long did it take him to get 1 million, right? Because it looks like within the next 24 hours, Andreas would have made $1 million in donations since Roger decided to write that tweet, which is awesome. By the way, you guys should go to that tweet. Like some of the replies to that tweet, like some of the trollish replies are hilarious. From Whale Panda, from Alpine, from Jameson Lopp, from Theo Goodman. I mean, I was reading some of the replies. They just like crack you up.
Yeah. Actually, let's see if we can go find it. Twitter, and we can go to Roger Ver. This is Roger Ver.
Yeah. Have you read those, Jimmy?
I have not. That's
why. I'll point you to some good ones.
All right, Roger Ver.
Scroll down a little bit and just
Yeah, so this is the infamous tweet that he made.
Click on that.
Andreas is one of the most eloquent speakers. Okay, so here's Andreas's big, reply. I did invest, Roger, then I sold in 2013 to pay my rent. I didn't have the disposable income to work for 2 years without pay and invest at the same time. I should have gone into more debt, but that would have been irresponsible toward the family who I supported. Okay, so...
Yeah, the replies from Will Payman and Ian DiMartino, they're great. I mean, I know those guys, and I know they were they didn't want to sell their Bitcoins at the lows, but they had to. Hey, scroll up a little bit.
Okay. Well,
there's a
Jameson Lopp. You probably should have ended that tweet right before the but. Yep, that's absolutely right.
Scroll up a little bit more. There's a Whale Panda one above that, or it should be.
Oh, no, there isn't. So there's one big thread with Andreas.
Yeah, click show more. Yeah, right there.
One more reply. I think this is the same thread, though. I don't think that's going to have it.
Oh, man. All right.
So let's see.
I guess they got reordered based on Alpine's is good.
What did Alpine say?
Right under the cat picture.
Oh, Alphonse Pace. Yeah, this is Roger's level of crazy seems to be proportional to Bitcoin price. My biggest financial mistake ever was investing in Bitcoin-related companies instead of just going all in on Bitcoin. Yeah, that's very true.
That was one of my faults also.
Yeah.
Scroll down. Oh, man, where the hell is Whale Panda? There's
is. Whale Panda, and there's a little GIF here. Let's see what the GIF looks like. Yeah, just digging a hole. Digging a bigger and bigger hole. The Dalai Lama is one of the most inspiring spiritual teachers of our time. But if you had invested... John Carvalho, no open source meme. Yeah, obviously this is big news on Twitter. But yeah, I mean, go take a look. This is, I think, an object lesson in how, Bitcoin sort of takes care of its own. Andreas has obviously done a lot for the community, and and a lot of people feel very grateful to him, and that's clearly seen in the donations he's receiving. He deserves every penny. All right, let's go to the next story here. A Bitcoin frenzy like no other is gripping South Korea. So it's kind of gone crazy over there in South Korea.
But it's been this way for a little while. I mean,
it has been, but here's the crazy thing is all right, so currently it's like 15,000 on coin market cap. It's trading at around 14.35 on Bitfinex. Bithumb is at 17.6. Corbit is at 17.6. Coin One is at 17.6. Every other exchange in the world is like at least $2,500 less or $2,000 less. It's the premium that South Korea once again has is insane. It's a nice juicy arb of like 15% or something like that, and at these prices, it's just. I mean, we're looking at a lot of money here. What's going on, Tone? What do you think?
It will close. It will close. I mean, we talked about it before. Just a lot of money there, probably not that much liquidity. If it stays this way for a while, someone's going to figure out how to move cash in and out of South Korea, right? And they will do it. Also, there could be an extra frenzy. Remember, South Korea was the one that went way more into Bcash than Bitcoin. Remember we talked about that? And looking at the price of Bcash lately, which I'll gladly show you. It might be that like the mass entrance into Bcash in South Korea is now the mass exit out of Bcash, causing even more pressure on Bitcoin because of the liquidity.
Okay. Well, it's certainly, the last time we had this sort of large gap was, I think, back in like May or June or something like that, and Bitcoin was trading at around 2,500, and in South Korea it was like 4,000. So
I'm still not used to this. I always say like 1,400, 1,500.
Yeah, you're like, wait, there's another digit? What happened? What's going on? Yeah. So anyway, speaking of that, Tone, any updates on what's going on here with the price?
Let's go take a look. I mean, it's let's do screen share. Let me make sure I'm here. Excellent. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like we're literally blowing through all-time highs. Like my trend line is about to get hit, and that trend line is serious. This is the trend line that some people on Twitter and stuff, they're like, oh, according to this trend line, Tone predicts $100,000 by end of next year, and that's what they're using. They're just using this trend line, right? But this trend line is just there. It's always been there. So that's kind of how I ended up in that article by Cointelegraph, like because of this, because of just this trend line. And I've had this trend line on there for a while. Let me drop the back test here. And this trend line goes all the way back to supporting the price in 2011. Sorry, not 2011, 2012. So here's the support of 2012. And if you just extend that trend line, we spent 2 years above it, and now we've spent almost 3 years below it. And imagine what would happen if we're going to spend 2 years above it again. That would be insane. Then we are talking $1 million of Bitcoin.
Oh so my God!
Above it, but we've almost hit this trend line. So people have been pointing that out. All right. So from a technical perspective, all right, what's today? Today is what? Thursday.
I gotta move you. Okay, all right, great. That's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna move
you're on the left side, just so you know.
Yeah, perfect. So, I mean, it's a big candle. It doesn't look like there's any real like blow off on a big scale. And according to, I mean, again, if you're a trader, Bitcoin is a buy and hold. I'm just here to help out the gamblers that one day will learn not to trade Bitcoin and go trade, traditional equities like I do. And you just hold on to that Bitcoin. But if you're going to trade it, I mean, there are certain things you can do. Again, I took these nines seriously. The market kind of ignored them. And if you're trading this indicator, which I like doing even in traditional markets, the weekly one is still at a no trade. And the moment a weekly two starts trading above the weekly one, it becomes a buy the breakout situation. Now, you don't have to trade the weekly time frame. You can trade the daily time frame. What did the daily time frame tell us? The daily time frame told me that, hey, there's a 913 here. Last time we had a 913 on a daily, things ended very, very badly. That was like back here somewhere, right there. We had like a giant 35% correction. We had somewhat of a recent 9 that gave us another like 30% correction. And you can go to cash, you can buy the breakout as well, right? So this is the yellow line that I had here. And I said, hey, if you're a little nervous about buying with the 2 trading above the 1, you buy the breakout of this 3 trading above the 2. And the point is, this was a very risk-averse trade that you should still be in because there's no signs of trouble based on a daily chart. And based on a daily chart, I'm going to be looking for 5 more days of upside. Let's see if it takes us to another 9, and let's see if we take another break. But it's Bitcoin, anything can happen. Here's the 4-hour chart. I mean, these 9s on the 4-hour chart have been pretty useful. I mean, this one gave us a nice little pullback. This one just gave us a nice little break. And then you buy the breakout. See my little green lines? This is the buy the breakout zone. And now we go to this latest 9 that just happened in the previous candle. I haven't even seen this yet, also known as a gravestone doji. And based on traditional markets, sure, you can take your profit on the 9, and then you wait and see, is there a shorting opportunity? Or do you buy the breakout? If you're going to buy the breakout, when do you do it? Well, I would do it upon at least one of the following conditions, preferably both, and preferably both at the same time. You take one of these lines, you draw it from the top of the doji, and what you want to see is you want to see a candle with a 2 over it, breaking above a candle with a 1 over it, and breaking above the all-time high. That would be a 4-hour buy the breakout trading, buy the breakout trade, basically, okay? So even if you took a profit any time on this 9, you can still sit in cash, and then you can do a somewhat risk-averse trade the moment you start trading above, where is the slide? Coordinates. The moment you start trading above 14,900 or something. And we did get almost to 1,600 on GDAX. So these exchanges are pretty all over the place. And here is the 1-hour chart. This is what we did it 2 days ago, right? Before my computer went out.
Mm-hmm.
Man. So 2 days ago, I had already gone bullish. I've given up on the bearish trend. I had gone bullish off of this triangle. Yesterday when we were doing this, I didn't have these. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. A 1-hour chart.
Yeah, I know. It looks crazy too.
All right, so there you go. So the 1-hour chart is also on a 9. So the 8 candle kind of gave us a top. The 8 candle was in line with the 4-hour 9. So the momentum, short-term momentum was coming to an end, but long-term momentum, like daily, is only on a 4. So the lower-term time frame, so these 9s on lower-term time frames are just minor blimps. This is one of those 9s where I say, hey, 1 to 4 hour pullback and then higher. So that's pretty much what I will say here. So using the hourly chart, I would probably just draw a zone. I would draw a zone from here to here, and then like that. I'm not going to make it red. I would make it yellow. So this is kind of like my zone. And once it's in this zone, it's a double top situation. I'm expecting us to go higher, and hopefully, next hour there'll be a 2 above the 1, and off we go to the upside. So right now the charts are bullish.
Wow.
What can I say? Oh man, what's going on
I
here?
don't
All right.
know. There you
Okay.
go.
So yeah, so it's a little bit of a short-term dip on the 4 hour, on the 1 hour, but the daily and the weekly is neutral and the daily is bullish, and the lower-term timeframes are on slight pullbacks. That's pretty
So,
much it.
so what's exciting you the most about this price rise?
Oh man. Okay. So so oh man, I can't wait till this clown show is back to where I drew these arrows from. Because look, Bcash is back to way below the price that I sold it at.
Mm.
Because I know I got at least 10% on all of my Bcash sales. And the trolls seem to have disappeared. Wow, they love to appear when the price goes up, but they disappear when the price is doing what it's supposed to do. Now, I never had an interest in this thing because I know it's garbage and it's gonna keep going down. Okay. Now that I said it, watch, I'm gonna pump this thing, but I'm gonna just keep doing it. And going back to this for a second, right? I don't know if you saw this tweet.
No.
It says, Whale Panda says, this is the CEO of one of the main actors behind SegWit 2X, who tried to rush a hard fork, which because fees were too high. Okay. You can't make this stuff up. I would have used a different word there, but so of course I can't see the tweet because so I said, hey, what did he say? And basically, apparently, the non-thought leader, Brian Armstrong, went on TV and said something about, yeah, we're considering SegWit. We're not sure if our users really care. And then apparently there was a poll, right? Like, should Coinbase upgrade to SegWit? And like 75% showed 75% showed yes, and only 9% showed no. Like the rest just want to see the results, right? And yeah, this is like just terrible, right? If you're supposed to be like the top company, and you're like, yeah, we don't know what our users want. This is just like, it's just real bad. They're like, yeah, we're open to SegWit. Like we like the fact that no one can get their transactions in because the blocks are full. We're happy about that. We couldn't hard fork, take over the protocol. So why the hell would we help our users now? Kind of attitude. It's just like one of the worst companies in the space, Coinbase. Like just terrible. But anyway, yeah. So get these guys to use SegWit. Okay. Blockchain.info, Coinbase. Like yeah. Anyway, frustrating. All right. That's oh yeah. Here's the mempool. Come on. Really, really. That's BTC. Is that Bobby Lee's thing?
Yep, it is. It is his thing.
Really,
because they don't have an exchange anymore. So yeah.
Your brother should have a chat with you.
Yeah, seriously, Charlie.
But yeah, stop mining anti-blocks, guys. Come on. The fees are getting a little high. I gotta bump some of my transactions up now. But
yeah. Some serious amount of 100 Satoshi per byte transactions came into the mempool in the last 24 hours. I did check something with blockchain.info. I think the last block, or the last significant block, was something like 2.5 Bitcoins in fees, which is
wow.
Which is pretty. That's like 20%, right? Like I think it's a little over that actually. So it's not quite as high as like a few weeks ago when there was a block that had 13 Bitcoins in fees, but it's getting up there. And there's almost no mining power going over to Bitcoin Cash, so it's all on Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I just want to mention Valentin put out an interview with me. I know he did one with you as well recently. So I gotta tweet this out. I've just been too busy.
Yeah, so that looks wonderful, and you should watch.
In Toronto, and on Friday I'm gonna have my own seminar on Saturday, so I'll be a little hard to reach.
All right. Well, thank you, Tone, for the update. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. And, I know it's early in the morning for many of you in the U.S. It certainly is for me. But, hopefully this is great for people in Europe and Asia and stuff like that. Just want to remind our viewers to give us a thumbs up and a share if you find this content helpful or useful, or useful. So, yeah, thank you. And this song is done.
Bye, guys.